Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
It's Yankee baseball time again. This is Bob Delaney welcoming you to another baseball game brought to you by the makers of Valentine Beer. Once again, Mel Allen, Red Barber, and Phil Rizzuto are at hand to bring you the play-by-play. Well, looks like they're all set to go down on the field, so let us get set as the Atlantic Refining Company and your Atlantic dealer for the 26th straight year as baseball's largest continuous radio and TV sponsor brings you Yankee Baseball. This broadcast comes to you by courtesy of the Atlantic Refining Company and P. Valentine & Son, in cooperation with Sports Network, by authority of the Yankees. It's intended solely for the private enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this play-by-play description without the express consent of the Yankees is prohibited. Well, hope you're all set now for the ball game with plenty of the crisp refresher Valentine Beer. See for yourself why over 5 million glasses of Valentine Beer are enjoyed every day. We're all set now for the Yankee baseball game, so let's go down and pick up the starting lineup.
For the Los Angeles Angels, Eddie Yost leading off third base. Leroy Thomas, right field. Leon Wagner, left field. Ted Kluszewski, first base. Ken Hunt, center field. Ken Aspromonte, second base. Earl Averill catching. Rocky Bridges, shortstop, and Ken McBride pitching. For New York, Ken Boyer leading off, third base. Tony Kubek, shortstop. Roger Maris, right field. Mickey Mantle, center field. Yogi Berra batting fifth, left field. Bill Skowron, first base. John Blanchard hitting seventh, catching. Bobby Richardson in the eighth spot in the order, second base. And Ralph Terry doing the pitching. The umpires at the plate will be Hank Soar. At first base, Nestor Chilak. At second base, Al Smith. And at third base, Bill McKinley. By the way, Nestor Chilak informs me that there is a great baseball party from Carbondale, Pennsylvania, the Moxie Club, who's come down here today to take in the ball game, and we welcome them as we do all baseball parties. And those of you who may be inclined to get up the baseball party, just write to the Yankee ticket director, Yankee Stadium, the Bronx 51, New York. Bill Rigney is out at home plate with Ralph Houck and the four umpires, going over the ground rules, so there will be no misunderstanding, so that plate session does not always preclude argument. As we look down, talking about people being here, the Right Honorable James Farley, who has played a big role in the history of our nation. He's a great baseball fan. And speaking of great baseball fans, Mrs. Blackburn, who has the box right next to the Yankee Stadium dugout and broke her hip. I do not indulge in these personalities from the standpoint of any interest on your part, because most people would not know her, James Farley, but rather to point up the fact that there is one of the all-time great fans, and so in herself a personality, and who, despite a broken hip at an advanced age, which causes her great pain, she still finds pleasure in getting to the ballpark, even though it is, in a sense, inconvenient. And so perhaps that might serve as inspiration to some of you shut-ins. The Yankees have just taken the field. And right now, as Eddie Yost wanders toward the plate, our national anthem. The battery for the Los Angeles Angels, McBride and Averill. For New York, Terry and Blanchard. And the best battery of them all, baseball and Valentine beer, the Christopher Fetcher. The Los Angeles Angels, along with the Washington Senators, have done a great deal better than most people figured that they would, considering that they started from scratch. Turned out, if you pardon the pun, that the boys that they got on the team were itching to go places. And so starting from scratch served as an incentive. The Angels, instead of being in 9th or 10th place, are in 8th place, and they've won 21 games and lost 33. They've hit more home runs than any team in the American League. They've got a power-packed lineup. And the one thing that helps teams like Los Angeles and Washington, with no one thinking they were going anywhere, the boys are relaxed. Plus the fact, the natural pride, you want to show that they didn't have full opportunity with other clubs and they could do better. For example, the Yankees hated to part with a guy like Leroy Thomas. They knew he had fine potential. But at the same time, they also needed some pitching help. And you get what you can get when you can get it. And give up something that at the moment you're able to spare. Where you have a chance to finish high at the present time, you do so rather than build toward the future, as some clubs are in position to do. Leroy Thomas, for example, is hitting .320 and he's hit 5 homers. But right now, we're ready to go with Eddie Yost, right-hand batter up, and the first pitch is swung on and hit foul, back to third, out of play. Strike one. Eddie Yost, great leadoff man. He's only appeared in 14 games this year. Lee Thomas on deck, and Leon Wagner to follow. Ralph Terry into the windup, and the pitch is swung on foul back up here. Terry has a record of 3 wins, no losses. This is his 12th appearance, all starts but his first. But there were many games he started. He did not finish and was not involved in the final decision. No balls, 2 strikes. Ralph ready to wind up. Here's the pitch, and it's high. Ball 1, 1-2. In fact, he pitched his second complete game, his last outing against the Twins, as he beat them 5-1. The Angels coming out of Boston larrups the ball up there pretty well. Here's the pitch, and it's foul down the left field line, out of play. They beat Boston yesterday 10-5. One ball, 2 strikes. Terry goes to the windup. The pitch to Eddie Yost. Swung on and foul back again. Count remains 1-2. Eddie, with a good eye, getting a piece of it. Red Kress is coaching at third. Bob Elliott at first. The Yankees have had a good week, but it all could be ruined in a given day. What with Washington out at Detroit, Kansas City at Cleveland. The 1-2 pitch, swung on line, foul down the left field line. Ralph hung the curveball. Eddie Yost got out in front a little too much and pulled it foul. One ball, 2 strikes. Eddie guarding that plate. Now Ralph Terry into the windup. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and fouled again. He got out in front. Fouled it back to third. Yost making him work. It's been a guessing game. The last few pitches, they figure, well, he's just looking for the fastball and throwing him curve. Now let's see. Here's the pitch. Change-up is swung on and popped up along the left field line. May go out of play. Boyer reaches, can't get it. Ball went out of play along the left field line. Schubecker's over, and Boyer, I think, hurt himself. Boyer banged himself up against the barrier. He was watching the ball, and the barrier came up on him before he knew it. And here is Gus Mouch coming out now. Boyer is limping. He may have broken his sunglasses. I don't know. Or he may, I don't know. That's what it is. I think he'd be all right just limping a little bit. So we've been underway about 5 or 6 minutes. Still, first man's up. Eddie Yost, fellow led the league many times and bases on balls. A new pair of sunglasses being taken out to place Boyer. He's limping a little bit, but he's shaking it off. Getting ready to continue. The windup by Ralph Terry. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on, hit foul again off to the left of the plate. Yost ranked fourth at the start of the season. The all-time base on balls leaders was 1,534. The 1-2 pitch again. There's one. Hit again. Foul. Deep down the left field line, out of play. Yost has got his eye on the ball and is standing out in front of it. Terry hasn't yet thrown him a good fastball. Maybe he's afraid he'll put it all away. Wind's blowing out to left. Could be his curveball's not breaking too sharply. Here's the pitch, fastball, hits foul again in the upper deck. That must be about, well, I haven't counted them. That has to be, 8 of them anyway. I don't know why I said 8. Just feel like 8. I don't know how many fouled off. Ralph Terry's pitched the whole inning to Eddie Yost. The next pitch, fine inside, and he went down and did a back flip. As he went down, he rolled over and did a backward somersault. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I'll tell you what I think was happening. Eddie was leaning over the plate and hitting those outside pitches, so he backed him up a little more perhaps than intended to. 10 fouls is just decided. Well, here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off behind the plate this time. That was a fastball. That's 11, and still they're laughing in the dugout. Swing, 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 swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The wind up, here's the pitch. And it's low outside, ball 3. So Eddie Yost has now worked the count to 3-2. When he kept fouling them off, he just felt he was going to get on base somehow. You ever notice how often that happens? Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, little dribbler, hits to the mound. Terry throws to Skowron, and he gets the first out. Well, now that the practice session is over, we're going to continue. I didn't notice the clock on the board, the exact time the game began, but it's 2:11 now. Lee Thomas, batting .320. Here's the pitch from Terry. Swung on, popped foul upstairs, strike 1. Spalding's doing great business today. Thomas leading the Angels in batting with .320. Now the delivery. In sight, 1-1. He's got a good swing. Mickey Mantle said to him when he first saw him in spring training, said, man, that fellow's going to be a good hitter. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit into the hole between first and second to right field for a base hit. Thomas on first. Maris tosses the ball back into Richardson. And up comes Leon Wagner. Batting .296, has 14 homers and 31 runs batted in. Big Clue on deck. 1 on, 1 out. Now the pitch. It's in there for a strike. 0-1. Terry's curveball isn't snapping off. It's hanging a lot. Threw a fastball there. Terry sets, and the pitch curve is swung on and missed, strike 2. That one had a good break on it. It was a let-up curve. I don't know whether it had so much of a break as the fact it was an off-speed pitch. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Now Terry delivers, and the pitch is popped up to third. Boyer moves under it and makes the catch in foul ground. He almost lost it in the sun. And here's Ted Kluszewski hitting .253. The Angels have had 71 homers and driven in 220 runs. They're power packed. Here's the pitch. Inside to Ted for a ball. The Yankees have had 69 homers and 261 runs batted in. Big Cruz awaits the pitch. Thomas off first. The delivery is a little low. Ball 2-0. Ken Hunt on deck. Two balls, no strikes. Thomas leads off first. The pitch to Cruz, swung on and foul bag. 2-1. Trying to pull that one into the seat. Two balls, one strike. Thomas off first. The pitch swung on. There's a shot between first and second to right field for a base hit. Thomas stops at second. Maris throws on over to third. And so there are runners on first and second, 2 outs. And up comes Ken Hunt. Batting .291 with 10 homers and 34 runs batted in. Another former Yankee. The Angels have been on a road trip of 6 that has included 16 games. They've won 6 and lost 9. They've won 2 in a row. Ken Hunt at bat. Thomas is single, by the way, marked the 6th straight game which he hit safely. They pitched the right-hand batter, accidentally swung on, hit to Kubek. He throws over to Richardson, forcing Clue. Hunt tried to check his swing. And even so, that ball went out to shortstop as if he had swung hard. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. At the end of the first half, the first inning, Los Angeles nothing, New York coming to bat. What a day. What a day for a cool golden glass of you know what. Valentine beer. Pure pleasure. Pleasure is the purpose of the crisp refresher, and that's why over 5 million glasses of Valentine beer are enjoyed every day. Discover the crisp refresher yourself. As we always suggest, your very first swallow, and each one to follow, proves that a beer can be light and still give you all the lager beer flavor you want. This sunny, mellow flavor is what makes Valentine beer the crisp refresher. If you drink beer for taste and refreshment and pleasure, man, we got it in Valentine beer. Now, there could be some other reasons. Wherever they are, we got it. Try Valentine. See for yourself why Valentine's is the most popular beer from Maine to Florida. For pleasure. For the crisp refresher. Or if you're lazy, have somebody else do it for you. But just have some Valentine beer. Ken McBride ready to pitch to Clete Boyer. Boyer batting .233. The right-hand pitcher delivers. High and inside. Ball one. McBride with a record of 5-3 delivers in there for a strike. Sort of a sidearm three-quarter motion. The 6-foot, 195-pounder, 25 years old, making his 12th start. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded to short. Up with it is Rocky Bridges. The flip to Clue in time, and there's one away. McBride has a fine earned run average, as I recall. Tony Kubek coming up. .48. I guess it is pretty good. One of the best in the league. Here's the pitch to Tony. Swung on, little dribbler down the third base line, foul. McBride in 75 2/3 innings has allowed 57 hits, 21 earned runs for a 2.48 average. Walked 41, struck out 49. One of the best in the league. The right-hander's pitch is low and inside for a ball, 1-1. About fifth among starters in the league in earned run average. Next pitch is low. Ball 2-1. He's originally signed for the Red Sox organization. The 2-1 delivery. Swung on as a bouncer, hit wide at first, up with his second baseman, throws to McBride covering in time. As Primanti went way over to his left. Suzuki going to his right couldn't get to it. McBride went over to cover. 2 away. Kubek, who had a 19-game hitting streak broken yesterday, grounds out to second. Was hitting .321. Maris, batting .227, steps in. The pitch to Raj is low. Ball 1. McBride got out of the Red Sox organization after knocking around the minors and was with the White Sox in 11 games in 1959. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Strike 1. Last year with San Diego, he won 11, lost 14, and came up for the White Sox, had a 0-1 record. And he's one of the men the Angels selected off their list. 1 ball, 1 strike. McBride's pitch. Curve is hit foul down the first base line past Wally Moses, coaching at first. A 1-2 count. Cleveland leading Kansas City 1-0 to end of 2 innings. We'll run down the scores for you in a moment. The 1-2 pitch to Raj, high outside. 2-2. McBride lost a couple of heartbreakers to Boston-Detroit 3-2, 3-1 early. 2-2 pitch, swung on. There's a bouncer down to Kozuski's, up with it. Outruns Maris to the bag, and the side's retired. Now the ball hit out in the infield. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. End of the first inning, Angels nothing and the Yankees nothing. Elsewhere in the American League, Boston won Minnesota nothing at the end of 3 innings of play. Schwal against Ramos. They're playing a doubleheader. Chicago at Baltimore. Bauman against Estrada in the first game. Washington and Detroit will be McLean against Woodishick in the first game. Woodishick, you know, was traded by the Senators to the Tigers for Cartier. Cleveland won, Kansas City nothing at the end of 2 innings. Kirkland homered in the second. Antonelli against Walker. They're playing a pair. In the National League, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Pittsburgh at San Francisco, single game starting later today. In the first game at St. Louis, Cincinnati, 4. Cardinals batting in the first inning. Perky against Sadecki. Slashing game and Freese homering. Freese with 2 on. Doubleheader at Chicago. Willie for the Braves, Ellsworth for the Cubs. There was a trade, I guess you may have read about, between the White Sox and the A's, an 8-player swap. Some of these trades make you wonder. Woody Schick for Cartier, for example. But the White Sox, the Kansas City A's traded Ray Herbert and Andy Carey, Al Pilarczyk, and Don Larson to the White Sox for Bob Shaw, who can be a good pitcher, Jerry Staley, Wes Covington, and Stan Johnson, who is coming up from San Diego. Aspromonte leading off in the second inning, 1 strike. I'd say White Sox got the best of that one on paper. Ken Aspromonte. The pitch swung on, hit foul, back to first out of play in the upper deck. Aspromonte batting .231. I sort of like that Ray Herbert. Bob Shaw had a good year a couple years ago and might find the groove again. They had a little trouble last season, this season. 2-strike pitch. Swung on and foul back. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Curve is hit foul, back to third, out of play. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Next delivery, just outside, fastball, 1-2. Ray Herbert, 31. He'll be 32 in December. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced foul down the third baseline. Bob Shaw is 28. Will be 28, 29th of this month. Scattered thoughts while the boys foul him off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They're really hitting that curve, getting out in front. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit, knocked down by the bare hand of Terry. Picked it up, throws to the first in time. He bounced it back to the middle. Terry just batted it down with his bare hand. Now, Blanchard's out to ask him how he is. He's all right. I think he sort of slapped it down. Now, Earl Averill. Now, here come Gus Mounts and Ralph Halkout, the permission of the umpire, to check the hand. And we're going to have the freeze-on put on. Ethyl chloride, which is a liquid substance which freezes an area to prevent swelling. I don't know whether you folks have ever had that done. I once had a pain up my shoulder. Sometimes the way we sit here and hunch up, over a microphone. Hunched up over a hot microphone on a cold day. You get knots up there, And I've had them we, squirt that on it. Actually, it's so cold it can have the same action as very hot water. Something very hot. In other words, you can get cold and be painful. Houck is checking with Terry, though. He's going to see if he can continue. Terry's going to throw a couple. You get those fingers numbed. You can't grip the ball and control it. Joe Ripley, our man about the booth, just slipped me a note that the way the things have been happening, what you call the bat, that the Angels are using fouling pieces. He's been reading history again. The diary of Samuel Johnson. All right, here's the pitch. And it's inside for a ball to Earl Averill. Son of the famous Earl of Snohomish, Washington. The 1-0 pitch is inside, ball 2. Averill has 11 homers and 33 runs batted in. He has had several big league trials. Indians and the White Sox. Got good power. The 2-0 pitch. It's over, strike 1, 2-1. Hank Stewart looking at Averill's bat. I don't know whether he thought there's something on it shouldn't be on there. Earl Douglas Averill, 5'10", 190-pounder. And the 2-1 pitch. Changeup is hit to short on a tricky hop. Kubek up with it, throws to first in time. When I say a tricky hop, I mean those that are tough to time. If you ever watch an infield, especially a shortstop who plays a little deeper, or a second baseman, they try to time the hop so they can get their rhythm and fluidity of movement. But there are times the ball hits too sharply, they start to charge, and they have to play the in-between or off-rhythm hop. Rocky Bridges swings and hits the ball to third, knocked down by Boyer, picks it up, throws to first in time. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. It sounds like a Philharmonic analysis. Commentaries. I didn't mean it that way. You know this. But there is rhythm in, of course, everything you do. At the end of an inning and a half, the Angels nothing, New York nothing.
Rum-dee-I-um-dee-I-O, the stormy winds they do blow. He's lost his mainsail in the violent gale. So it's straight for the shoreline he rows, it's straight for the shoreline he rows. Then securing the boat with a line, he heads for the Valentine time. He can be of good cheer with Valentine beer. So sunny and mellow it glows, so sunny and mellow he knows that to be crisp a beer must be icily light, with 2 lager flavors precisely right. Lively golden, crystally clear, the crisp refresher, Valentine beer.
Pleasure. Pleasure is the purpose of the crisp refresher. No wonder over 5 million glasses of Valentine beer are enjoyed every day. Valentine, America's finest since 1840. No score to the last of the second. Mickey Mantle at bat, hitting .306.
This copyrighted recording is licensed by Major League Baseball. Any reproduction or other commercial use of this recording, in whole or in part, is prohibited.
No score to the last of the second. Mickey Mantle at bat, hitting .306. McBride's pitch is swung on and grounded foul down the first baseline. Strike 1. Nothing in 1 the count. Wagner in left, Hunt in center, Thomas in right. Yost third, Bridges short, Aspromonte second, Pazuski first, Averill catching. Right-hander, Ken McBride. Pitch is high outside, 1-1. One ball, one strike. And the 1-1 pitch. Curve is swung on and missed. Strike two, 1-2. One ball, two strikes. And the 1-2 pitch. Another curve outside, 2-2. The 2-2 delivery. Way outside, ball 3, 3-2. Full count. McBride ready for the payoff pitch. Into the windup, and it comes, and Mantle swings and grounds it slowly out to second. Aspromonte up with it, throws to first in time. One away. Here's Yogi Berra, batting .294. Pitch on the way to Yogi. Swung on. As it drives on deep to right field. It is going. It is gone in the third deck. Yogi Berra getting his 10th home run and his 26th run batted in. The remarkable Mr. Berra. His 328th Major League homer and his 4th this month. Moose Skowron up, fouls the first pitch off on a check swing. Yogi just stepped up and swung. And away she went. One of his longer homers into the third deck. Perfect timing on that. One to nothing, New York. That was their first hit. Skowron hitting .265. Takes the curve over. Strike two. 0-2. And the two-strike pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Got him on the curveball. Moose took three pitches. Was up there and looked at three pitches. Swung at the last one. Checked swing on the first one. Johnny Blanchard stepped in, batting .263. Now the deliveries. In there for a strike. The Yankees have had 36 homers in their last 21 games. They've hit homers in 20 of their last 21. Here's the pitch outside. Ball one. 1-1. The 1-1 delivery, swung on and fouled back, out of play. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is low and inside. Ball 2. 2-2. Next delivery, swung on and fouled back as the bat goes flying out the end of the grass. A 2-2 count on Johnny Blanchard. One nothing New York, second inning. McBride's pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Threw him a fastball that seemed to sink a bit. 1 run on Yogi's homer, 1 hit, no errors, no one left on. At the end of 2 innings of play, New York 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, no one left on. The Angels no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. The Angels will be here tomorrow night for a night game to wind up the series, and then the Yankees go away for 18 days, coming back home on Friday night, the 30th. Boston 1, Minnesota nothing at the end of 3.5 innings. Baltimore 1, Chicago nothing at the end of 1 inning. Kansas City 1, Cleveland 1 at the end of 3 innings. In the National League, Cincinnati 4, St. Louis nothing at the end of 2 innings. Those are the only games in which we have anything to report. We pause for station identification.
You're in tune with Quality Modern Radio, 1460 on your dial. This is WOKO, Albany, New York. WOKO.
McBride's pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Threw him a fastball that seemed to sink a bit. 1 run on Yogi's homer, 1 hit, no errors, no one left on. At the end of 2 innings of play, New York 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, no one left on. The Angels no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. The Angels will be here tomorrow night for a night game to wind up the series, and then the Yankees go away for 18 days, coming back home on Friday night, the 30th. Boston 1, Minnesota nothing at the end of 3.5 innings. Baltimore 1, Chicago nothing at the end of 1 inning. Kansas City 1, Cleveland 1 at the end of 3 innings. In the National League, Cincinnati 4, St. Louis nothing at the end of 2 innings. Those are the only games in which we have anything to report. We pause for station identification.
You're in tune with Quality Modern Radio, 1460 on your dial. This is WOKO, Albany, New York. WOKO time, 20.5 minutes to 3.
We're going into the first half of the 3rd inning at Yankee Stadium. First game of a doubleheader. And Ken McBride is the first batter. 2 for 31. The pitch is swung on and fouled back. Strike 1. Eddie Yost on deck. Lee Thomas follows. Terry's pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 2, 0-2. 1-0 New York, 3rd inning. Outfield straight away. The pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. First strikeout for Terry. Eddie Yost, who occupied a great deal at the beginning of the ball game as he fouled off better than 10 pitches and finally hit to the box. Right-hand batter. The pitch is fastball over, strike one. 0-1. No balls, one strike. And the next pitch, fastball is over, strike two, 0-2. They switched his pattern for the first two pitches. Yost, remember, kept fouling off a lot of curves. Now it's a case of who outguesses who, or we'll see. Here's the pitch, curveball, and it just misses the corner. Ball one, 1-2. A 1-2 count. Now the windup. In comes the pitch. Curveball. Misses again. Ball 2-2. Lee Thomas on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, none on. Third inning. 1-0 New York. The windup and the pitch is a fastball hits foul back to third, out of play. And you know, the ball boy had to go in the clubhouse, get some new. They got 2 boxes of baseball, 2 dozen brand new balls brought out. Again, the pitch. Swung on it, missed. Strike 3 as he fired it by Yost. 2 strikeouts. Now Lee Thomas, who singled to right in the first inning. In comes the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Mantle moves to right center. Mantle, by the way, won't operate at top speed. Here's the pitch outside, ball 2. He hasn't for a couple of days. Re-injured his leg and right wrist. Two balls, no strikes. Now the delivery. Swung on and foul back. 2-1. He had his home run yesterday, almost one-handed. A 2-1 count. Now the windup and the pitch to the left-hand batter. Curve is just inside. 3-1. Leon Wagner on deck. The 3-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled back. 3-2 the count. Three balls, 2 strikes. Yogi's playing left field, facing the left field line. The payoff pitch is a curve hit into right field. Not deep. Maris under it and makes the catch. Sides retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. At the end of 2.5 innings, New York won. The Angels nothing. And the Angels sing. Remember that song? Or at least that was that the name of the song, or was it part of the lyric? Name of the song, yes. one of the better recordings made by one of Benny Goodman's old trumpet players, Ziggy Elman. He used to play it with Benny. And then, yeah. Well, I tell you, we can make beautiful music together, you and I, with a hearty supply of Ballantine beer and easy to carry, easy open six-pack. Ballantine beer goes over big with people bent on fun and pleasure. Pleasure is the purpose of the crisp refresher. Today's Ballantine is light and crisp and golden. The light beer with true lager flavors. All of which explains why more than 5 million glasses of Ballantine beer are enjoyed every day. Take 2 or 4 or more pleasure-packed six-packs of the crisp refresher home. And while you're pouring Ballantine, have a time. Bobby Richardson at bat takes the strike from Ken McBride. 25-year-old right-hander who has shown a great advantage. The low earned run average of 2.48. Bobby hitting 232, but foul. Ball kicks off his foot down the first baseline. Strike 2. He was trying to catch Eddie Yost napping at third, figuratively speaking. Nothing in 2. Eddie was playing him a little deep. Terry to Powell and then Boyer. 1-0 Yankees on Berra's second inning homer. Now the pitch. Outside, 1-2. McBride likes to sidearm the right-hand batters or come three-quarters. Into the windup, and the pitch is high and inside, 2-2. Gives you a lot of motion out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swung on and missed on a let-up curve. 3 straight strikeouts for McBride. Again, the big motion and pulled the string on a curveball. You know, when you're standing at the plate, you're looking for a certain pitch, that motion, you start to swing because you have to be ready and swing in a hurry. And if he pulls the string on you, you're already out there with the bat, and it's hard to pull it back and swing again. Ralph Terry comes up, 7 for 21. Batting .333. A slugger. Here's the pitch. Curveball over, strike 1, 0-1. 1-0 New York, last of the third. Sign on the scoreboard reminds folks it's Dan Topping's birthday. Fastball is low, ball 1, 1-1. General Manager Roy Hamey had one not long ago, and today is the birthday of President Dan Topping. Quite a fellow. Very generous. Great sportsman. The 1-1 pitch. Bunted and fouled off behind the plate. A 1-2 count. Terry was using a piece of sponge rubber in his right hand to grip the bat with that. Remember earlier in the game, he knocked the ball down with his bare hand. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ken McBride goes to the windup, and the pitch is a curve. It's swung on and looped over first to right field for a base hit for Ralph Terry. He gets his hit. Slow curve. He swung on it late and got just enough wood on it to punch it over the head of Kluszewski. Second hit for New York. And up comes Clete Boyer, who grounded to short. At first, it looked like it was just going to be a soft liner that might have been caught, but it had a little more carry to it. This is McBride's first appearance against the Yankees this season. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped up into short right center. Aspromonte out. The right fielder comes in and makes the catch. Lee Thomas. Hunt moved over from center. 2 away, and Tony Kubek will be the batter. Grounded out to Aspromonte in the first inning. This doubleheader is the Angels' 5th since last Sunday. The Yankees' 3rd this week, last Monday. 2 away, and the pitch to Tony swung on. Ground ball hit out to second. Aspromonte up with it. Flips on to Bridges at second to force Terry, and the side's retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of 3 innings of play, New York, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. The Angels, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on. While we discover what may have happened on scoreboard, why don't you discover the taste you've been searching for in beer? Valentine beer. Sunny, mellow, refreshes you as only the crisp refresher can. Ice cold Valentine beer. Boston 1, Minnesota nothing. End of 5. Schwal and Ramos. Budden homered in the 3rd. Baltimore 1, Chicago nothing. End of 2. Estrada and Bauman. Philly homered in the 1st. Washington, Detroit, scoreless. End of 1. Woodishick and McLean. Kansas City and Cleveland 1-1. End of 4. Walker and Antonelli. Kirkland homered in the 2nd. National League, Cincinnati 4, St. Louis nothing. End of 3. Hunt and Sadecki. Home runs, blasting game, Freeze with 2 on in the first inning. Milwaukee nothing, Chicago nothing. End of an inning and a half, Willie and Ellsworth. A reminder to you folks, the Yankees will be here tomorrow night. After that, their next playing date will be Friday night, June the 30th. Don't forget the July 4th doubleheader with the Tigers. The July 24th date with the Giants on a Monday night for Sandlot Baseball. And the 29th, the annual Old Timers Day, honoring Dodger, Giant, and Yankee stars who played in New York. Now, Phil Rizzuto is coming on. We're going to go over to television for a few hours and see you later in the day. Phil?
Okay, Mel, Leon Wagner to lead off for Los Angeles here in the top of the 4th. Terry's pitch is hit down the first baseline foul as he tried to check his swing. Wagner popped up to third base in the first inning. Yankees 1, Angels nothing, top of the 4th. All right, Wagner with that slightly open stance, and his hands apart on the bat, a good inch and a half between his left hand and right hand. Pitch is high, ball 1-1-1. Blanchard calls time, goes out to the mound to talk with Terry. The Angels lead the Yankees in homers for the year by 1, 71-70. On deck is Ted Kluszewski. A wind-up by Terry. Fastball line to deep right field. Maris going back and makes the catch in front of the barrier. He didn't quite get under that, but he got good wood on it. Sent Maris back to the 344-foot sign. 1 away. Here's Ted Kluszewski. Ted single to right field in the first inning. He's really changed the style of baseball uniform shirts. No sleeves at all, cut right off at the shoulder. Actually, his arm is too big. If he had a sleeve, it would bind his swing. Terry's curve is in there, strike called. Terry with his short winder. Fastball low, 1-1. On deck, Ken Hunt. Mantle playing Kluszewski deep and way over in right center field. Yogi shading Kluszewski in left center. Maris deep and right. 1-1 pitch, high and away, ball 2. 2-1. The Angels have plenty of power, make no mistake about that. Terry taking lots of time. Now he's ready. He's in with a fastball, fouled back on the screen, 2-2. And Kluszewski swung so hard that his follow-through carried him 1/3 of the way down to first base. Some of the fellas on the Yankee bench riding Ted good-naturedly. There's one fella you don't want to get mad. Two and two the count. One out, nobody on. The 2-2 pitch. Low, ball 3. Full count. And Terry wants a new ball. Ralph was struck on his pitching hand by a drive back through the box in the second inning, hit by Ken Aspromonte. He was able to pick it up and throw Aspromonte out, but needed a little first aid from the Yankee trainer, Gus Morse. Now the payoff pitch to Kluszewski. Slow curve in there, strike 3 call. Kluszewski thought it was inside, but he had taken his eye off the ball as he started to swing and then held up. And Terry chalks up his third strikeout of the ball game. Brings up Ken Hunt, who bounced into a fourth play in the first inning, trying to get out of the way of a high inside fastball. Ball hit his bat and rolled right to Kubek. 1-0, New York leads. Yogi Berra's home in the second inning, the only run of this game. Curve to Hunt is in, strike call. Fastball just misses outside, 1-1. Aspromonte on deck. Now the 1-1 pitch. A line foul. Boy, that ball was hit. Nice play by the ball boy down the left field corner. Caught it on one hop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sidearm curve is swung at it. Missed, strike 3. Nice pitch by Terry. His 4th strikeout. Nothing across for the Angels in the top of the 4th. The score at the end of 3.5 innings, New York 1, Los Angeles 0.
To be crisp, a beer must be icily light. Ooh, icily light. With true lager flavor, precisely right. Ooh, precisely right. Lively golden, crystally clear, the crisp refresher. Crisp refresher, Valentine beer.
Pleasure is the purpose of the crisp refresher. Your first swallow and everyone to follow is light and crisp and golden. So pour pleasure. Pour today's Valentine.
So clap your hands, tap your feet, snap your fingers. And that's the man for Valentine, the crisp refresher, Valentine beer.
Since 1840,
America's finest.
Before we start the bottom of the fourth, let's pause for station identification.
Thank you, Phil. This is Quality Modern Radio, 1460 on your dial, WOKO, Albany, New York. WOKO time in 10 seconds, 1 minute past 3.
Roger Maris leads off for the Yankees. Roger bounced out to first base in the first inning. Pitch to Maris on the outside corner, strike one call. Roger batting .226, leads both major leagues in homers with 18. Changeup swung at and missed, strike two. McBride's got real nice motion on his changeups and slow curveballs. Mickey Mantle on deck. Two-strike pitch, fastball hit back in front of the plate. Averill out, up with it. Throws to Kluszewski in time to get Maris. Roger bounces out in front of the plate. Here's Mickey Mantle. Mickey bounced out to second base in the second inning, batting .305. McBride, the right-hander, on the mound for the Angels. Pitch to Mickey on the inside corner for a strike. One strike pitch inside, 1-1. Curveball is lined right at Kluszewski off his glove, and Mantle's going to beat it out. And there was a bullet hit to Kluszewski, and Ted kind of nonchalanted it a little bit, and it hit with such force that it kicked right out of his glove. We'll wait and see what the official score gives him. It's an error charge to Kluszewski. Mantle is at first. Here's Yogi Berra, who homered deep in the upper deck in the second inning. Yogi's 10th homer of the year. One out, Mantle at first. Mantle kneeling down on first base. Now he's up, just loosening up a little bit. Stretched by McBride. Pitch to Yogi, low inside, ball one. McBride set. Comes in with a fastball, low and away, ball two. 2-0. Quick throw to first, and Mantle's back. Man, that was a tricky play by Averill. He was looking at the pitcher and stepped towards the box and just threw backwards, sort of, to first base, but Mantle got back. 2-0. Fastball outside, ball three, 3-0. On deck, Bill Skowron. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Right call, fastball right down the middle. Now Yob takes a quick look at Crissetti. So does Mantle. 3-1 and 1 out. Nick could be running on the pitch. Here's the stretch. And McBride steps back off the rubber. Yogi steps out of the batter's box. Again the stretch. Mantle doesn't go. The ball is hit foul at first base. And it's a full count on Yogi. Yogi's a good man to have at bat when they've got the runner going on a 3-2 count. Strikes out very seldom. Anything he can reach, he'll be swinging at. Ready now for the payoff pitch to Yogi. Here it is. There goes Mickey. The ball is popped in the air, foul. Eddie Yost and Averill after it. Averill going near the dugout. And what a play he made. He took his eye off the ball because he was about 2 or 3 feet from the dugout steps of the Angels. And Yost lost the ball in the sun. Averill caught the ball with 1 foot almost in the Angel dugout. A fine play on a twisting foul ball. 2 outs. Mantle back to first base. Here's the Moose. Skowron struck out swinging in the second inning. Nothing Yankees leading here in the last half of the 4th inning. McBride sets. His curve is in there, strike call. McBride has 2 different type curves. One is a big breaking one, and one is a sharp breaking. Here's the stretch. Fastball is low, 1-1. Blanchard on deck. Big curve is inside this time. Ball 2. 2-1. Still a lot of talk going around about Hank Bauer's tremendous inside the park homer yesterday. Bounced over the monuments in center field. 2-1 delivery is hit foul outside of third. 2-2. A youngster leaned out. One of his buddies held him by his feet and got that foul ball before the ball boy could get it. 2-2 on the Moose. Right-hander ready. Steps back off and throws to first. Mantle back. That was a tricky move. He stepped back off the rubber and then fired quickly to first base. Sets again. Curve is hit foul outside of third. All the youngsters sitting in those field boxes have their gloves with them. That one kicked off the railing. Still 2-2 on Skowron. Leading away. Sidearm curve hit foul. Frank Crosetti got a chance for this one. The Crow up with it, cuts the fly a little, flips it to the umpire. And McBride would like a new baseball. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Change up inside. Full count on Skowron. 3-2 and 2 out. Now Mantle will be running again. Yankees getting their first look at Ken McBride today, his first appearance against the Yankees. He's won 5 ball games this year. Ready now for the payoff pitch. There goes Mantle. The curve is swung at and missed. Strike 3. Second time that Skowron has gone down on strikes. 4 strikeouts for McBride. For the Yankees, in the bottom of the fourth, no runs, no hits, 1 Los Angeles error, and 1 man left. The score at the end of 4 full innings, the Yankees have 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. Los Angeles, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error.
Now this is Bob Delaney, and we're on the go again with the rest of the game, brought to you by the Atlantic Refining Company and your Atlantic dealer, who offer you Atlantic Imperial, the gasoline that cleans your carburetor and keeps it clean.
Now Terry, ready to go in inning 5 with this 1-0 lead, which Mr. Berra, his left field in the first game, has accounted for. Will be pitching to Astromonte, Averill, Bridges. 6, 7, and 8 spots on Bill Rigney's card. Astromonte is the fellow who hit the sharp ball right back at the mound in the second inning. And Terry stopped it with his bare hand. He is continuing to pitch, but you don't know what will happen to the hand when he is no longer using it and cools off. Stafford earlier this week was hit on the right hand, finished the ball game. And then I noticed in the clubhouse the next day that his hand was swollen and was all bandaged. Tim Astromonte. For the Yankees, the Wrigley infield, it saved the ball game yesterday no less than 4 or 5 times. Skowron, Richardson, Kubek, Boya. Outfield of Bella hit the home run for the first game's only score, Mantle, Maris. Astromonte, a right-hand batter, takes a slider low outside, ball 1. Red Crest, coaching at third. Bob Elliott is coaching over at first. Crest has been in the league many years. He coached at Cleveland, you'll recall. 1-0 pitch. Change of pace is lower in the dirt. Ball 1. And Elliott managed Kansas City in the American League last year. So these 2 men have been invaluable to Rigney, who was a complete stranger to the American League, and giving him the this and the that on this league. You'd be surprised at the research that's done on ball players. 1-1 pitch, fastball low, ball 2. You take scouts of each major league team are always scouting the other team. That's how deals are often made. Information. What about this fellow? What does he do? What doesn't he do? Fastball swung on as a high fly, deep to left center, but Mantle's already out there. He's waiting. We have 1 out. Now here is Earl Averill Jr. His dad was a ferocious hitter for many years in this league. Right-hand batter. Swings, and there's a triple ball to the mound. Terry up with it over to first. Skowron, we have 2 out. I'm just looking back. The last time Terry started was on the 7th. That was against Minnie Schultzer. And he got the first man out. The next fellow triple. That was Billy Martin, and Green double to get in a run. He gave up 2 hits in the first inning and no more in the ball game. Well, he has given up 2 hits in the first inning today. Didn't give up any runs, and he hadn't been kept for a base hit since. Here's Rocky Bridges. Right-hand hitter. See the chunky fella, barrel-chested. Bow to knees. Fastball is low outside, ball 2. Bridges was with Brooklyn, Cincinnati, and came over to this league. Washington, Detroit. Serve is over for the strike. Cherry has had an excellent curveball today. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. The Yankees 1 up, thanks to Mr. Berra. The defense is straight away on Bridges, who is a spray hitter, as they say. Big, slow curve right over, called strike 2. 2-2. Hank Storr, back of the plate. Starlack at first. Smith at second. McKinley is at third. The Angels here for night game tomorrow evening. Third ball grounded foul right down past Red Crash. Crash was coaching with the New York Giants when Rigney was a player over there. DeRosa was manager. Two pitch. Swung on as a high foul ball that is out of play. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Terry taking the sign from Blanchard, who's catching the first game. Howard will catch the second. As the ground ball hits sharply inside third, past Boyer down in the corner. It hits the fence. It's in play. Bridges is around first. He's on his way into second and comes in. Richardson gave him the dummy play, but Rocky still had it. Bobby is getting very artful in that piece of acting. So as he stands at second base as though there's no play going to be a call. He decoyed some runners about a pitch here, but Bridges knew he had to go all out, and he made it a double. Inside third, down the left field line. So that puts the tying run at second, and here is Pitcher McBride up. He's had 2 hits all season. Terry being careful because there's no action, that anybody with a bat is dangerous if you swing it as a foul ball. In other words, that follows such reasoning as even a blind pig will get an aching if you just keep rooting. No balls, 1 strike. You never can tell when a fellow get a base hit and hurt you. Pitch, the curve swung on in the strike 2. I remember when the Dodgers were fighting for that pennant, which they finally did pull out in 41. The last Western trip, everything was up for grabs. And they got into Pittsburgh, and they got in a big rhubarb. Hugh Casey was accused of throwing at hitters, and then accused of throwing at the plate umpire, Major Kirsch, and then they threw DeRosa out of the ball game, and he was in the clubhouse throwing chairs. Pittsburgh had a substitute infielder named Anderson. He got 1 or 2 hits and a couple of cups of coffee while he was up. And one of his hits, he beat the Dodgers with a triple. And when the word came to DeRosa that Anderson had tripled, there wasn't a window left actually in the Pittsburgh clubhouse that had glass in it. And to this day, anytime you see DeRosa, just walk up and say, do you remember a fellow with Pittsburgh named Anderson? And just get the reaction. Well, nothing in two. Terry being careful with that tying run. The curve is low outside. McBride expects to swing. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Terry being quite deliberate. McBride, right-hand hitter. A pitch is a curve swung and miss. Terry walks off the mound, uses his opposing pitcher as his out man, picks up his 5th strikeout, no runs, 1 hit. First game is now official. In the 4 1/2, it is Yogi Berra 1 and the Angels nothing.
For pleasure driving that is a pleasure, you need something more than a freshly washed car and a bright sunny day. For one thing, you need to be sure that your carburetor is clean to do its job at peak efficiency. And that's why more and more motorists from New England to Florida have started to use Atlantic Imperial gasoline regularly. This quality gasoline cleans your carburetor as you drive and keeps it clean. You see, Atlantic Imperial removes the harmful deposits of dirt that get past your engine's air cleaner and build up on the lower carburetor walls. These deposits can cause rough idling, stalling, and gasoline waste. But once you've used Atlantic Imperial for a while, you'll feel the difference. And as long as you use it, Atlantic Imperial will keep new deposits from forming in your carburetor. So see your Atlantic dealer soon. Use Atlantic Imperial, the gasoline that cleans your carburetor as you drive and keeps it clean.
Well, here we go. Last half of the 5th inning, first game. Gee, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? A very pleasant humidity. Nice light breeze blowing around. Fine crowd here. Plenty of seats, you folks in the neighborhood. This is just in the middle of the first game. And here's Ken McBride. Pitching to Blanchett. 1-0 in favor of the Yankees. Second inning home run by Berra. He gets the curve all over for a strike. He struck Blanchett out in the second inning. Frank Rossetti coaching at third. Wally Moses at first. Fastball swung on, grounded down to second baseman Astromonte in the hole between his position and first as the easy trip to Suzuki for the retirement of Blanchett. 1 up, 1 away. Bobby Richardson was struck out in the third inning. Terry and McBride are stacking a lot of lumber out here today. Terry 5 and McBride 4. Outfield swung slightly into left on Bobby. Third baseman Yost is up in search of a bunt. Curve hit right down to Yost. Short fumble, he recovers, throws in plenty of time. Bobby's out by 3 steps. That's the one position where you can knock the ball down and recover it and throw a man out, third base. 2 up, 2 away, and we're waiting for Terry. Terry has the second and last hit for the Yankees. That's a big hit for Ralph. That's the one position where you can knock the ball down and recover it and throw a man out, third base. 2 up, 2 away, and we're waiting for Terry. Terry has the second and last hit for the Yankees. That's a big hit for Ralph. When I saw him in the Yankee dugout today at noon, I said, well, you know that Whitey Ford has 1 more hit than you. He said, I know. Let's see how it is tonight. Each now has 8. Terry has considerably fewer at-bats and a much higher percentage. Right-hand batter. Fastball is good at the knees on the outside. And Terry's hitting away. He has 8 for 22. That's 363. And another base hit. He's got his nice one, a single through between third and short. Now that'll get Whitey to pacing up and down the dugout. So Terry has the second and third hit for the Yankees. 1 to right, this 1 to left. He's on at first. In the third inning when he singled, he put on a white jacket. And he refuses it now, standing out in the warmth of the sun. Terry's now hitting .391. And here is Boyer. Takes a strike. With a curve just above the knees on the inside. No balls, one strike. Outfield around toward left. The breeze is blowing straight in from back of right. So there's from first base to the plate from second to third. Fastball sinks low inside, 1-1. McBride's fastball naturally sinks. When he throws a changeup of it, you have to be very certain that you don't jump to the conclusion he's throwing a knuckleball, which he is not. 1-1 pitch. Change of pace is foul. Back into the stand. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Yankees are 2 games out of first place. Game and a half out of second. Detroit and Cleveland came off even. Neither one got hurt in that 4-game set. Oh, they had some great games. They're fine pitchers. Wonderful pitchers. Cleveland is playing a doubleheader at home today with Kansas City, and the A's lead them 3-2 at the end of 5 in the first game. Detroit is at home for a doubleheader with Washington. It's Washington 3, Detroit nothing, end of 3 in the first game. The curveball is hit down to deep short. A fine pickup by Bridges. A throw to second for the force out on Terry. A fine play by Bridges. George Boyer with a force. No runs, 1 hit. Terry continues hitting away. Well, let me go back to the 7th when he last pitched. One thing about having a scorebook, you don't have to trust to your memory. Terry was 2 for 3. So he has 4 hits for his last 5 at-bats, and the one time they got him out, he hit a tremendous ball off Ramos, who was called at deep left center, and it was caught. Real Terry's out at the mound. Tell you something, tell you a secret that he doesn't know. And don't you send him a telegram and tell him. After the second game, he's going to be one of my guests on the post-game TV show, but we never talk to starting pitchers and invite them when they're going to start. Now we'll pause for station identification. End of 5, first game, the Red Sox won and the Twins nothing. End of 3.5, first game, the Orioles 5 and the White Sox, who are really having doleful days, nothing. At the end of 3.5, it is now Washington 4, Detroit nothing. End of 5, Kansas City 3, Cleveland 2. First game, end of 5, Cincinnati 5, St. Louis 1. First game, Milwaukee and Chicago, no score, end of 3. Now we have Eddie Yost, first up, as we go into the 6th inning. Terry curved him too much to go outside, ball 1. Yost hit back to the mound and then was struck out. He's 0 for 2. There's a half swing and a foul outside of first, 1-1. Speaking of Elliott coaching down at first, a moment ago we were talking about that Crest was coaching at the Giants and Rigney played over there. Well, Rigney also played a year with Elliott with the Giants. So you can see how these associations and friendships most frequently come back in the matter of a new manager selecting his coaches. 1-0 ball game in favor of Mr. Berra. 1-1 pitch. Swung on as a high fly ball to deep left center field. Matto's got the goal, and he gets it. so far this year. He makes some great ones out there in the big ballpark. It's a joy to watch outfielders at the stadium. They got room to go. And Merrill went to deep left center field and took a triple away from Yost. And Mickey caught the ball. Yost was coming into second, and you could see quite a marked dejection. Here is Lee Thomas, fine young outfielder, that went from the Yankees to the Angels in the Bob Cerv deal. Thomas had a first inning single and a fly to right. Takes inside, ball 2. Outfield well around toward right. I guess Yost feels that everything is against him. He's hitting about 140. And here he finally conks one. There's a high drive deep to right field. Let's see. Maris is going close to the wall. He's waiting. He has it. 2 down, top of the 6th. Leon Wagner is having a great rookie year. He's the left fielder for the Angels. He is using a little Albert Justin's black bat. In fact, Wagner just picked up almost anybody's bat. Said he doesn't care. And he has 4 home runs and 7 RBIs against the Yankees this year. Takes high inside, a fastball, ball 1. He fouled out to third in the first inning, and he hit a real line drive, and Maris caught it in the deepest part of right field in the 4th inning. Wagner, big left-hand hitter, takes a strike, a slider on the outside above the knees. 1-1. 2 down. Terry, Saul, Splendor, graceful pitcher to watch. He's 3-0 this year. Oh, splatter. Wagner took a big swing and spun all the way around. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The slider or the little sharp fast curve that Johnny Sane has been indoctrinating this Yankee pitching staff with. It's been a big help to Terry. It's been a big help to coach. If Sane can't teach you about a curveball, nobody can. I don't know of anybody who knows as much about a curve as John. He spent his first 4 years in organized ball in Class D learning it. There's a line drive in the center. Base hit. Well, if Wagner continues hitting against the Yankees, takes a big turn to the left, he's an alive ball player. Wagner now has 10 hits for 24 at-bats against the Yankees. And here's Big Kluszewski. Singled in the first inning, took a 3rd strike, which he didn't like, in the 4th. So with 2 down, Wagner has singled. 4 hits off Terry. Ralph would be in real trouble if Mantle hadn't caught that ball off Yost. 1-0 favor the Yankees. Kluszewski. As a ball hits the Skowron, who steps on first base for the unassisted 3rd out. No runs, 1 hit. And Mr. Mattos saves the day. Score at the end of 5.5 remains the Yankees 1 and the Angels nothing.
Here's the gasoline story of the year. Now you can test Atlantic Imperial in your own car without risking an extra penny. The people at Atlantic make this unusual offer because they're confident you'll like the difference this fine gasoline will make in the performance of your car. Here's all you have to do. Start using Atlantic Imperial. Ask for a receipt with each purchase. After 100 gallons, if you're not completely satisfied, just mail the receipts to the Atlantic Refining Company, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The difference in cost between 100 gallons of Atlantic Imperial and the same amount of regular gasoline will be refunded and no questions asked. You'll like the difference, or Atlantic will pay the difference. Make Atlantic's clean carburetor test. Discover for yourself how Atlantic Imperial gasoline cleans cleans your carburetor as you drive and keeps it clean.
Last of the sixth inning, Tony Kubek, who's 0 for 2. He got stopped yesterday. Then Maris, then Mantle. Ken McBride. A fine young pitcher who's been doing quite a job. He's won 5, lost 3. And his pitching is even better than the record sounds. Delivers, and Kubek takes low inside. Pitch is foul back. But I say that McBride's pitching is better than the record. His last defeat, he got beat 2-0 by Estrada down at Baltimore after he had won 5 straight. The other 2 losses, he really got slugged. He got beat 3-2 and 3-1. The Yankees leading him now 1-0. Under right-hander deals. The curve is hit foul down into the left field stand. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Outfield toward right. There's a ground ball hit right at the second baseman. That's Marty over to first, and Kubek is easily out. As so often happens, when you have a streak going in one direction, when it is stopped, it almost seems to reverse itself. I know I remember when DeRocher was managing at Brooklyn, the Dodgers got on a real winning streak. And I asked him what he thought about it. He said, Coach, you want to win every day, but I don't like these winning streaks. I'd rather win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 1, go along that way and not get that big streak in there. Maris hits a foul ball. Because at Leo, it's always a bad reaction that follows snapping of a streak. 1 strike to Maris. 1 man out last of the 6th, first game. Yankees leading 1-0. Bauer hit it from the third deck in the second inning. It was the easiest to swing toward luck. 1-1 pitch. There's a ball inside. I said the 1-1. I should have said the 0-1. It is now 1-1. Maris, the Major League's leading home run hitter, swings to the curve and has a high fly ball to deep center. Back goes Monty. Way back turn, makes the catch. Right out at the edge of the track. Maris doesn't often hit straight away. This is what they try and get him to do. So we have 2 down, and here's Mantle. And he's getting a big hand again for that catch off Yost in the top of this inning. Pitches batting left-handed against right-hander McBride. McBride down in Huntsville, Alabama, was quite an all-round high school athlete. See, the pitch is high inside, ball 1. He won 7 major sports letters in high school. Baseball, basketball, football. 1-0 delivery, over. He changed off the fastball, had it above the knees, 1-1. Suzuki is playing almost to the line on Mickey. Mantle almost took his hands off of that line drive in the 4th inning. Mickey swings above a curveball. Strike 2. 1-2. The Angels and their halos. Mantle swings at a high drive. It is going deep to right. Let's see. There is the catch right up against the wall by Lee Thomas. 2. 1-2-3. Last of the sixth inning. Mantle hit under the ball. Looked forward like he would carry it. End of sixth innings, the total is 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Yankees. Bella hit the home run. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Angels. And now the bulletin on the scoreboard. All games during the coming road trip on WCBS AM. Dial 880. Terry, pitching with his 1-0 lead since Bella home in the second, is ready to go in the seventh. He's facing Hunt, Aspromonte, Averill. Hunt is 0 for 2. He was selected from the Yankee list in the stocking of the Angels. We'll look down and see what fellows did they take from the Yankees. See this. Hunt. Gerba. That was a big one. They have James, Johnny James, former of the Yankees. Duran in the trade. They also took some of the Yankee young players that they had kept down in the minors for further seasoning. We were talking with Fred Haney. Blanchard's out talking with Terry. We were talking with Fred Haney, the general manager. Of the Angels, and I said, how are things going? He said, they're going on pretty good. He said, but the main thing is I'm trying to worry about 2 and 3 years hence. All right. Here's Hunt, 0 for 2. Terry delivers. Terry ball swung on, hit out to right field. Back goes Maris, back in front of the bullpen. Jumps and makes a one-handed catch and falls in the sand. He caught the ball and then went right over on his back, out of sight. And Hunt was running the bases thinking he had a home run, but the umpires had it called all the time because you could see him make the catch before he ever disappeared. Catch the ball, he had to go all the way back, time his feet, go as high as he could, and go slightly backwards. And when he got the ball in the glove, the only place for him to fall was in the sand. He caught a home run. It's still a 1-0 ball game. Here is Aspromonte. Swinging, hits a high foul ball. Close back to the screen. Blanchard comes back and makes a one-handed catch on it. Well, we're seeing one great fielding play after another. Yesterday it was the infield that did it for the Yankees, and today we've had 2 great outfield catchers. And I say great advisory, and now a great catch by Blanchard. He came back, the foul ball was not so high, and he had to stick out his glove and catch the ball just as he crashed into the netting. A one-handed catch. And the Angels are wondering, is that a profitable side to be on? The side of the Angels. Well, there's Averill. Pitch is over. Fastball for a tall strike. Boy, that Terry has got some Christmas presents to send to Mantle, Maris, Blanchard. Better start making his list out right now. to Mantle, who is ready. He has it, although the sun gave him trouble. The score at the end of 6 1/2, an ovation for Maris. They're standing. And the score, thanks to Maris, remains the Yankees 1 and the Angels nothing.
If your car had a glass carburetor, you could see Atlantic Imperial gasoline washing away the harmful dirt deposits that build up on the carburetor's lower wall. But since you can't see your carburetor work, we're going to do the next best thing and invite you to take Atlantic's clean carburetor test. Find out now just how good this fine gasoline really is. Here's how the test works. Use 100 gallons of Atlantic Imperial. Ask for a receipt with each purchase. Then, if you're not satisfied that you're getting better performance from your car, just mail a receipt to the Atlantic Refining Company. We'll refund the average difference in cost between 100 gallons of Atlantic Imperial and the same amount of regular gasoline. Try Atlantic Imperial. It cleans your carburetor as you drive and keeps it clean.
Is it true, so many people think, that the only thing the Yankees do is hit home runs? I'm sure they do, but the defense this year for the Yankees has been tremendous. Infield, outfield, catching, all over. Well, did you play on some good defensive teams? Yes, I sure did. As a matter of fact, that's what helped win all those pennants. Besides the homers, the double plays, and plays like Maris and Blanchard just made now. Well, the infield won the ball game yesterday. Yes, they did. They certainly did. And now the outfield and the catcher today. Yeah, how about that play Mantle made earlier? Well, here we go. Mr. Berra, who is accounted for the only score, wasn't anybody going to catch his ball in the second inning except the catcher because he hit it in the third deck. McBride delivers, and Berra swinging nubs it up toward third base. There is Yost letting it roll. It goes foul. Yost had no chance to make the play. He was caught deep. Berra nubbed the ball up toward third, and all that Yost could do, he quickly saw it. He had nothing to lose by letting it roll. And of course, you know the infields all have a turtle back. They slope down from the pitcher's mound after the foul line, and the ball rolls foul. So it is strike one. If Yost had touched the ball, of course, it's been a base hit. This is a tremendous ball game. This big crowd at the stadium came to its collective feet when Maris came into the dugout just now. They'd seen a great catch by Mantle, but then they saw a greater one by Maris. There were two different kinds of catches, of course. Mantle running a mile into deep left center and one-handing the ball, which would certainly have been a triple. Maris caught a home run and fell into the stand. When we say caught a home run, I know you understand what we're saying. A ball that if he hadn't caught it would have been a home run. All right, 2 balls and 1 strike to Yogi. McBride is pitching him outside. Delivers a curve swung under the high drive, deep to right. And it is another home run by Berra. Baseball can do in Boston, huh? Yost let that ball go for a foul. That's right. He took the single away from Yogi, and Yogi come back with a home. Well, I guess Yogi, though, is getting a little tired. He only got this one in the first deck in right field. The first one was in the third. There's the Moose up there. Ball one. It is 2-0 in favor of Berra. McBride delivers, and it's a low serve. Ball 2. Boy, this... we're having some exciting ball games around here in the big floor. McBride deals, and it's a curve over for a strike. He has struck down out both times. The Moose has faced him. Outfield deep, around toward left. John swinging singles into center field. Hits it right up the middle. So, home run by Berra, his second. John follows with a single. The Yankees now have 5 hits, and the Moose feels better. And here is John Blanchard, who is 0 for 2. Struck out, grounded to second. McBride comes set. Deals. Blanchard swings a hot one at Suzuki's up there. Throws to second. They got one. The throw back to first. Double play. First to short to first. Suzuki to Bridges and back to Suzuki. First double play of this first game. Now we have Bobby Richardson. Bobby's 0 for 2. Struck out on the ground to the third. McBride deals. Curve low outside. Ball 1. He's pitching a fine ball game. But his teammates can't score on Terry, certainly with a defenseman back of him. He's behind 2-0. Curve low outside. Ball 2. 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Nothing pitch. Swung on at the line drive into the left field corner. It is a fair ball, and it is a ground rules double. The fan leading over touches the ball on the bounce. So 3 hits here in the 7th. There is Ralph Terry. No, he's going to hit. He hasn't come out yet. When he comes out, you're going to hear a whooping and a hollering. Now, you should. Now, here he comes. He has 2 hits as well as pitching the shutoff. Well, Terry is leading the pitches percentage and total hits. He's got one more than Whitey. He's had 4 hits in his last 5 at-bats. 391. Outfield back into right on him. Richardson with the double is at second. 2 out. Curve swung on, hit wide of third. A nice stop by Yost to throw to first, and Terry is up. So, 1 run. Berra's second home run. 3 hits, 1 man left with a double play. Totals at the end of 7. It is 2-6-0. Berra accounting for both the runs. And Los Angeles, no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error.
Cleans your carburetor as you drive. That's what new Atlantic Imperial gasoline does. Keeps it clean, too. Try it and see for yourself.
And we'll take a look at the scoreboard. Ralph Terry taking a little time getting out to the mound. In the American League, the Red Sox lead Minnesota 5-1 at the end of 6.5. Allison homered in the 7th for the Twins. Don Button has 2 homers for the Red Sox, and Frank Malzone had 1 in the 6th with 2 on. Baltimore leads Chicago 5-0 at the end of 5.5. Dave Philly homered in the 1st inning. It's Bauman against Estrada. Washington leading Detroit 4-2 at the end of 4. McLean for Washington. Woodishick started. Fox in the 5th for the Detroit. Gene Green homered in the 4th with nobody on for the Senators. Rocky Colavito, homer number 17 of the year in the 4th. And Norm Cash is 15th of the year in the 4th, both with nobody on. Kansas City leads Cleveland. No, they don't. The Indians have just tied it up on a 2-run homer by Chuck Essegian in the 7th. And the Indians go ahead 4-3 now. They're still playing the bottom of the seventh inning. Willie Kirkland homered in the second. Walker is going for Kansas City. Antonelli started for Cleveland. Dick Stigman in the sixth. So the Indians are leading now 4-3, still playing the bottom of the seventh inning. The National League, Philadelphia at Los Angeles, Pittsburgh at San Francisco starts later on. Cincinnati leads St. Louis 6-1 at the end of 6.5. Hunt for Cincinnati. Sadecki started Cicotte, Al Cicotte in the fifth. John Blasingame homered in the first with nobody on, and Freese in the first with 2 on for Cincinnati. Milwaukee leads Chicago 1-0 at the end of 5. Willie against Ellsworth. Right now, let's pause for station identification.
You are in tune with Quality Modern Radio, 1460 on your dial. This is WOKO, Albany, New York. WOKO time is 6.5 minutes to 4.
Ready to go, Rocky Bridges takes the pitch low, ball 1. The Yankees lead 2-0, thanks to 2 homers by Yogi Berra and some fine defensive work by the Yankees. Bridges bounced to third, double to left. Ralph Terry out on the mound. Fastball over, strike called, 1-1. One delivery, a foul back out of play. One ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball, Kubek to his left. Up with it, bobbles it a moment, throws to first in time to get Rocky Bridges. Albie Pearson is coming up to bat for Ken McBride. Tough break for McBride, who was pitching fine ball. McBride had been up twice, struck out both times. Little Albie Pearson, batting .267, has 8 doubles, 3 homers, and 8 runs batted in. Left-hand hitter. 5 feet, 5.5 inches tall. Boy away in at third. Pitch to Pearson is high, ball 1. Albie hit a couple of homers against the Yankees out in Wrigley Field in Los Angeles last time New York was out there. Perry comes in with a fastball that's high, ball 2, 2-0. On deck, Eddie Yost. Perry goes to the rosin bag, placing it down carefully, just exact amount of inches from his right foot. The 2-0 pitch. Strike call, fastball, belt high. But Pearson doesn't have too much of a strike zone. Mantle is way over in right center on Pearson. Here's a 2-1 delivery. High outside, ball 3, 3-1. Pearson looks down at Red Crest, third base coach. One out, nobody on. Yankees 2, Los Angeles nothing. We're in the first half of the 8th inning of the first game. Still another big game to go. Here's Terry's 3-1 delivery. It's over, strike 2, full count on Pearson. Ralph was just trying to lay that right in there, knowing that Pearson was taken all the way. Wasn't too much on it.
Now the payoff pitch. A high fly to short center. Mickey Mantle drifting in, coming under it. And holds it in for the second out. So Pearson worked the count to 3-2 before flying out to center. Brings up Eddie Yost. Eddie hit back to the box, struck out, and was robbed of at least a triple on a great running backhand catch by Mickey Mantle in deep left center field. That was in the 6th inning. Pitch to Yost, just outside, ball 1. Lee Thomas on deck. Perry comes in with a fastball. This one's over, 1-1. Low curve hangs above the eyes. Ball 2, 2-1. Two out, nobody on. Here's Perry's 2-1 pitch. Curve outside, ball 3, 3-1. Ralph puts his hands on his hip. Thought the pitch had the corner. Three and 1 on Yost. Eddie looking down at Red Crest. Now he's back in the batter's box. Three-one pitch. Low, ball 4, and that's the first base on balls given up by Terry in the ball game. Eddie Yost, the walking man, gets one of his specialties. And it'll bring up Lee Thomas, who's single to right, and his next 2 times at bat fly deep to right field. 2 out. Tying run at the plate. Yankees 2, Los Angeles nothing. Top of the 8th. Bill Skowron holding first against Yost. The left-hand hitter. Richardson playing on the outfield grass. Pitch to Thomas. A curve popped in the air and back of the plate. Johnny Blanchard moving under it. Plenty of room. And got it for the 3rd out. In the top of the 8th for the Angels. No runs, no hits, no Yankee errors. 1 man left. And the score at the end of 7.5 innings. The Yankees 2 and the Angels nothing.
Say, something new has been added to the do-it-yourself list. Yes, now you can clean the carburetor of your car. Remove dirt in the vital throttle plate area without even raising the hood. How? Just use Atlantic Imperial regularly. You see, dirt deposits build up on the lower walls of most carburetors. In time, these deposits can affect the action of the throttle plate and cause it to feed the wrong mixture of air and gasoline to your engine. Now, this results in rough idling, frequent stalling, and actual gasoline waste. But after a few thousand miles of driving with Atlantic Imperial gasoline, this carburetor dirt will be gone, washed harmlessly away. And for as long as you use Atlantic Imperial, you needn't worry about new deposits forming. That's why more and more people these days are using Atlantic Imperial. It's the quality gasoline that cleans your carburetor as you drive and keeps it clean.
We have a new pitcher coming in for Los Angeles. Art Fowler, old knuckleball pitcher from way back. He takes over for Ken McBride, who worked 7 innings. McBride allowed 6 base hits. He didn't walk anybody. struck out 4 and allowed 2 runs. And those 2 runs off the bat of Yogi Berra, 2 homers to Yogi. 1 way up in the upper deck and 1 back in the lower deck. Fowler is making his 6th appearance of the year. He was purchased from Omaha. He's won none, lost 2. This is his 3rd relief appearance. He started 3 games. And he can be rough out on that mound. He's got a real good knuckleball. He'll be facing the top of the Yankee batting order here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boyer, Kubek, and Maris. Boyer bounced to short, fly to right field, and then hit into a force play. All right, Averill fires the ball down to second base, and Boyer stepping in the batter's box ready to go. Fowler, a right-hander. Taking quite a bit of time before this first pitch. Here's his windup. Pitch to Boyer is over, strike call. Lee bluffed the bunt. Eddie Yost was charging way in. One strike pitch is a foul tip dropped by Averill, strike 2. Fowler has sort of a herky-jerky wind-up and delivery. Nothing in 2 on Boyer. He'll get a look at that knuckleball now. Here's his windup. Pitch is low, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ready for the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. A drive deep to right field, way back there. That ball's it's caught by Lee Thomas right against the railing in right field in the corner. And Thomas, with the last second spurt, caught up with the ball. Didn't look like he had a chance. He came out of nowhere. And it looked for a second like Boyer had an opposite field home run. Here's Tony Kubek 0 for 3 today. 3 times up and 3 times he's bounced to the second baseman. 1 out. Roger Maris on deck. Pitch to Kubek, popped in the air. The third baseman Yost waving his arms. He's under it in foul territory. Makes the catch for the second out. And it looked for a second like Boyer had an opposite field home run. Here's Tony Kubek 0 for 3 today. 3 times up and 3 times he's bounced to the second baseman. 1 out. Roger Maris on deck. Pitch to Kubek, popped in the air. The third baseman Yost waving his arms. He's under it in foul territory. Makes the catch for the second out. 2-way, and here's Maris, who made that sensational catch to rob Ken Hunt of a home run. He leaped in the air, caught the ball, and ended up in the seat. Roger is 0 for 3, bounced to first, bounced out in front of the plate, thrown out by the catcher, and flies deep to right center field. 2-0 the Yankees lead. 2 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch to Maris, low inside, ball 1.
Bauer comes in with a fastball. Strike called, 1-1. On deck, Mickey Mantle. Fastball swung and a missed. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Knuckleball line to right center field, and that's going to be in there. Thomas cuts across, backhands it though, and Maris going down has to hold up. Fast fielding by Lee Thomas holds Maris to a long single. And that brings up Mickey Mantle. Mickey bounced to second, reached on an error, and fly to right field. Mantle has contributed an outstanding defensive play in this game. Two outs. Suzuki holds first against Maris. Here's the stretch. The pitch to Mickey. A ground ball. Base hit to right field. Bill Rigney is coming out to the mound with Yogi Berra coming to the plate. Runners at first and third, 2 out. Yogi already has 2 homers. The in-between fouled out to the catcher. And now Bill Rigney coming out to talk with Art Fowler. Earl Averill and Eddie Oates join in on the huddle. The Yankees now have 8 base hits to go along with that 2 runs. Rigney has not left. He's looking out towards the bullpen, but he's keeping Fowler in there. Fowler will remain in the game. Yogi Berra, who now has 11 home runs on the year, ready to step into the batter's box. Deck, Bill Skowron. Fowler pitching from a stretch position. Maris leads off third. Mickey Mantle leading off first base. The stretch. Pitch to Yogi. Outside, ball 1. Stretch. The pitch outside, throw to third. Maris dives back head first. He's back in there. 2-0 on Yogi. They're trying to pick Yogi away. Just nick the outside corner. They don't want him pulling again. Here's the stretch. Fastball is over. Got the outside corner that time. Strike 1. 2-1. Yogi asked for a little time at the plate. Now he's ready. 2-1 pitch. Ball is hit on the ground at second base. Astromonte is up with it. Throws to Krasuski for the out. For the Yankees in the bottom of the eighth, no runs, 2 base hits. No Angel errors, 2 men left in the score at the end of 8 full innings. The Yankees 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Los Angeles no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Take a look at the scoreboard. In the American League, the Red Sox are leading Minnesota 8-1 at the end of 7. Allison Homer for Minnesota. Don Budden has 2, Malzone 1, and Jensen 1 for the Red Sox. Palmquist and Cornelius are the pitchers of record right now. Baltimore leads Chicago 6-0 at the end of 6. Bauman against Estrada. Dave Philly Holman in the first. Washington leading Detroit 5-3 now, playing the bottom of the 6th inning. McLean for Washington. Woodishick started. Fox and Casale now in there for Detroit. Gene Green, Holman in the 4th, nobody on. Rocky Colavito in the 4th and 17th. Norm Cash had 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 6th. His 15th and 16th of the year. Cleveland leading Kansas City 7-3 at the end of 8. Daly against Stigman. Kirkland, Holman in the 2nd with nobody on. Ephesian has hit 2. 1 in the 7th with 1 on. And 1 in the 8th with 2 on. The Indians are still rolling. And the National League, Philadelphia at L.A., Pittsburgh at San Francisco start later on. Cincinnati leads St. Louis 6-1 at the end of 7. Hunt for Cincinnati. Miller in there now for St. Louis. Blasingame and Freeze have homered. And Milwaukee leads Chicago 3-0 at the end of 6.5. Willie against Hobby. Jack Reed has gone in to play left field, taking over for Yogi Berra defensively. And in the top of the 9th, the Yankees lead 2-0. It'll be Wagner, Krasuski, and Hunt to face Ralph Terry. Wagner pops to third, lined out to right field, and single to center. Wagner, the left-hand hitter, steps in the batter's box. Curve is low to Wagner, ball 1. Terry's next pitch is a ground ball, Skowron over to his right, up with it. Throws to Terry covering in time to get Wagner. 1 away. Ted Krasuski, the batter, Crew singled in the 1st inning, called out on strikes in the 4th, and bounced to first base in the 6th. Pitches over to Krasuski, strike 1. Terry's next pitch is inside, 1-1. Won the count. Terry comes in with a changeup just outside. Ball 2, 2-1.
taking a long time to get this signal. Now he's ready. Fastball popped in the air. Johnny Blanchard and Starrin near the Yankee dugout, and Blanchard can't get it. Ends up in the Yankee dugout. See, no error on the play. It's a 2-2 count on Suzuki. Blanchard has made a fine catch of a foul ball near the screen, a running one-hand catch. It was earlier in the ball game on Aspromonte in the 7th inning. 2-0, the Yankees are leading in the top of the 9th. 1 out, nobody on. A 2-2 count on Suzuki. Curve is high and away, ball 3. Full count. Now getting ready for the payoff pitch for the Angels' first baseman. Here it is, and it's fouled back off the screen. Lou walked over to get a little dirt. That ball was high. It was kind of close to take up around the letters. Once again, the 3-2 delivery. Drives to deep right center field, way back there. And this ball is caught one-handed by Maris leaning over the railing. And Suzuki is standing with his hands on his hips. Roger Maris has taken 2 home runs away from the Angels. 1 off Ken Hunt and 1 off Ted Suzuki. Maris is as good as any outfielder going after a ball one-handed. He was leaning over the railing of the bullpen and backhanded the ball. And on Kenny Hunt, who's up there now, he leaped high, caught the ball, and landed in the first row of seats to the right of the Yankee bullpen. Here's the pitch to Hunt. Changeup is high. He was ready to bunt that ball, ball 1. Hunt has also bounced to short and struck out besides flying to Maris. The Yankee defense has been great all year. Slow curve over, strike 1-1-1. On deck is Ken Aspromonte. Changeup line deep to left field. And that ball is in the seats for a home run. A line drive home run by Ken Hunt. Boy, he tagged that changeup base out, tell you. Ken Hunt lines the homer into the left field seat. His 11th home of the year and his 35th run batted in. It makes it a 2-1 ball game in favor of the Yankees. We're in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. And so those 2 sparkling defensive plays by Roger Maris in right field keeps the Yankees in the lead. He actually took 2 homers away from the Angels. Ken Aspromonte hit back to the box, fly to center, and fouled out to the catcher. On deck is Earl Averill. Pitch to Aspromonte, low and away, ball 1. Fastball over, strike 1-1-1. So with that homer by Hunt, the Angels remain ahead of the Yankees in season homers. Los Angeles has 72, the Yankees have 71.
1-1 pitch, curveball hit on the ground, one hop to Boyer. His throw to Starr, and that's it. The third ball game is over. The Yankees win the first ball game 2-1. Here are the totals in the ball game. For the Yankees, 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 6 men left. For Los Angeles, no 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error, and 5 men left. The winning pitcher is Ralph Terry, who has won 4 and lost none. The loser is Ken McBride, who has won 5 and lost 4. The Yankees have now won 9 of their last 10. They have 13 complete games pitched, now 7 in their last 12 ball games.
Well, quite a ball game with the story being Yogi Berra's 2 home runs and the catches of Roger Maris that took home runs away from the Los Angeles Angels. Maris jackknifing into the stands to grab off one, and then touching the one that Kluszewski hit in the 9th inning right up against the barrier. Well, Ralph Terry pitched himself a fine ball game, but got a big assist in this tight one from that strong wind blowing in from right field. Yogi Berra, however, was not bothered by that wind as his 2 belts were soundly hit into the right field seat. So it was Berra and Terry, the story for the Yankees. And the Los Angeles Angels can play that one over and cuss out their tough luck as far as the home runs that almost went in. So we'll be back shortly with the second game. I believe the umpires indicated we'd start at about 5 minutes of 5. So, Frankie McFarland will keep our stations notified as to the progress, and we hope to see you all back here for the second game very shortly. For now, this is Bob Delaney for C. Valentine and Sons of the Atlantic Refining Company, and this is the Home of Champions Network.
This is Quality Modern Radio, 1460 on your dial.